Hello everybody and welcome back to Victoria, where last episode we finished up our first pass of industrialization, and that, or rather not industrialization, electrification, and that is absolutely fantastic. Now I'm noticing there's an electricity shortage in Campania, so let's take a look at that. Do we need to actually do anything here? We very well might. So let's look at our power plant. Yeah, this needs to be expanded, for sure. So we're going to get a new level of power plant here, and that will be absolutely delightful. We're working on these fertilizer plants, the food industries, the fishing wharves. That all is something we're going to get finished up. We're going to pass per capita taxation, which will increase our income and allow us to cut our taxes even further and probably boost our government wages, which would be a very good thing for us, for sure. So we're going to be delighted to have that happen, and we have a lot of law changes that we want to make. We're passing per capita taxation first, but we did get to presidential republic. We don't have elections, so we got to do something about that. We'll get there. So that sounds good for the moment. At this point, our economy is doing quite well. No doubt about that. We've got some more work to do on it. We're number 3 in the world at this moment. Ukraine took Mozambique. Okay. That was from their own... That was from their own colony down here, so that's not necessarily shocking. We've got this here. What do we want? Oh! Ukraine is offering to acquire land in Sinai in order to build the Suez Canal. Is this one-time income? Or is this 30,000 for 9 years, like, permanently? Well, not permanently, but, like, is this 30,000 a week? I want to know more about this deal. Will we cede this actual land right here? Will we have that every week? So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to make a save here, and we're going to revert back to this save most likely, but then I'm going to accept the deal and see what happens, because I don't quite understand what this event is telling us. So we are going to do this. We just accepted that. They don't technically own this land. Oh, there they go. So that's Ukrainian Sinai there. And presumably they would also take this. So we do get 30K per week. Okay. I'm reverting back, like we said. I don't want to actually cede land to them. And I don't feel like we need the 30K per week. So the plan is actually to say no. I just wanted to see what the actual outcome of that would be. It's interesting that that didn't bridge all the way up to the Mediterranean, but perhaps that would have happened eventually. We will not give away an inch of our land. Now, this is potentially going to make Ukraine somewhat upset. I want to hop over here and improve relations with them. So we're going to work on bringing those up. Yeah, so they just dropped down to neutral, and they have the claim on Sinai. That is expected. So we're going to work on that, and oil extractors or tech progress, we will take the tech progress. Thank you very much. So one thing we might want to consider doing is starting to build up our military. Perhaps raising our taxes back to medium and holding them there. I'd like to raise our government wages, but at this moment maybe we should, honestly. Putting our government wages there, and then that puts us in basically the same economic situation we were in, except we're no longer sacking our prestige. And then we can start thinking about expanding out some of these armies. So the overall size of the Ukrainian army, which is the number 4 in the world, but it's... Actually, this is smaller than it used to be. But 436. Okay. We've got a long ways to go if we want to match that. That's definitely noted. What I'm going to do is I'm going to just chill here for the moment. We're back up to cordial with Ukraine, so that's good. I don't think they can attack us while we have cordial relations. So that's good. Let's get this power plant in Campania finished up. And let's work on these fertilizer plants and food industries and fishing wharves. Once this is all completed, I think we'll start looking at getting some military going, because I think we really do start to need it at this point. Even if Ukraine is not planning to attack us over the Suez Canal, that's still a significant danger. Let's see what happens with per capita taxation here. Stall. That's unfortunate. But we can take a setback. This is absolutely fine. We'll take a setback, and the next roll will be faster. The most likely chance is advance at this point. It was unfortunate that we rolled stall, but not the end of the world. So, at this point, these fertilizer plants still trucking along. We've now officially broken 100 million on our GDP. That's a good sign. We've got a ways to go to pass the US and a very long ways to go to pass Ukraine, but that's all absolutely understood. This is not terribly shocking, but I do want to work through our economic structures that we have here. We're in a pretty good place economically at this juncture. And we've got these universities here. I want to get those finished as well. There's the combustion engine. That's a lot. Wait. Automotive industries are their own building now. That's good. That's a very good choice. I'm very glad for that. Having motor industries and the automotive industries be a production method difference, I didn't like that, because you ended up having very unusual production method choices. I like this change. Okay, what else do we have here? A bunch of different production methods and mobilization options. So I want to go into our military and look at our mobilization options. We are at minimum right now. We should probably start cranking these up. So this is going to be potentially expensive, and the question is, how much resources is this going to cost us, right? So we'll do that for right now, and we'll see where that puts us in terms of our production and things that we need. We're going to want to expand these armies out for sure. Our command limit is 30, and I believe that is expandable by having more generals in this. Yeah, so we'd be able to do that. And the question is, what would we want our standard army to be? Well, right now we have nothing but infantry. We definitely want to change that. If I recall correctly, and this may have changed, but if I recall correctly, the ratio that you want in Victoria is 50% infantry and then 50% artillery plus cavalry. So each of these would be 25%. So that's definitely a target that we can aim for sure. To that end, for now, I'm just going to proceed. And we'll see where we are in terms of resources. Oh, I wanted to change production methods. That's right. We didn't actually do this. So coming through here, we can just look through all of these. Not many production methods there, but we can go to public motor carriages, which would be a lot of additional transportation. I'm going to do it. It might cause problems. I'm also going to electric streetlights. Our electrification is done. This will give us a source of electric streetlights. So we'll go to general training here for our conscription centers. And then our logging camps can go to chainsaws. Do it. We'll have problems. Our oil rigs can go to combustion engine derricks. That all looks good for the moment. Okay, so we are now short on automobiles. And how short are we? 233 automobiles. Noted. So if we wanted to produce that, this is 30 per level. What's 233 divided by 30? That is about 8 levels. 7.76 repeating. So automotive industries, 8 levels, and the best earnings are in Palestine, but we don't have many peasants here. Niger would be the next best location, but we don't have qualifications there. What about Israeli Croatia, though? Or Baghdad? Baghdad is more connected to our capital. Well, we could do it in Syria, too. I'm going to do it in Syria. That looks fine. So it's going to go right up here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8 of them. That should deal with that problem. I'll move these motor industries to the top. But we've got other issues here, right? I don't want to work exclusively, as usual, on the automotive industries. So instead, we will do something kind of like this. And that is, of course, going to end up taking up quite a lot of additional construction time, which is time that we would like to be putting towards working on our military, but we can at least be theoretically working on our military in this time, and that'll be okay. So we can do something like that. Okay, so that's fine, and we'll see what other problems we end up having. In terms of theoretically working on our military, I do want to bring in... Okay, if this is going to be 50%, then this should be 10. And where do we want this to be at? Well, we could definitely recruit from Campania for this. Okay, so that's 10 shrapnel artillery there. And then this is going to end up being 10 lancers. And I'm going to still recruit from Campania for this. There we go. Something about like that. Now, those are down at the bottom of the queue. And we can do the same thing here. So do we want to recruit exclusively from Campania? No. We're going to have this be 15 units from Algiers. There's a revolution in Persia. Okay, that's probably not a big deal. So that brings us up to 20 at this point. And then we can have... I'm going to do an additional 5 in... Actually, I'm going to do 10 in Algiers here. So, like that. And then in terms of the Lancers, this is going to be 10 in Campania. Like that. Okay, now the second Israeli army, we're going to do a very similar thing, except here we're going to recruit from Sicily for our infantry. So this is going to be... We're going to need plus 15 here. Like that. And then our artillery, we're also going to recruit from Sicily. So 25, there we go. The Lancers, however, I'm going to recruit from Tuscany. There we go. So that's not going to bring us up to, like, Ukraine levels of military, but it's at least going to be a much more respectable military than what we have. Now we're going to eventually have to recruit new generals for these, and I want to get a 4th army eventually as well. And we're probably going to want this to be up to 60 in size. So we're going to want to increase the size of this even further. But for now, this will do. So that's underway, but that's all at the bottom of the queue. And this is years away at this point. So that's understood. That's not a huge issue, but we want to be working through this queue for sure. What's a private construction working on? I do see a glassworks in there and an engines industry. That's probably for the best. There's also a railway going in Upper Egypt, tooling workshop in Eritrea. I don't mind it. That all looks good. We could start thinking about building additional construction fairly soon as well. In fact, I'm going to do that. Let's find out where we have the most construction in. This is really very spread out. Okay, I want to build this in Syria. So we're going to do that. We hit an advance for per capita taxation, and that's fantastic. So we're now up to 43% success chance. And we're going to get this single construction sector built. So that's absolutely fine. We've been running a surplus, well, kind of running a surplus in a weird sort of way for a long time. So that seems good for now. Let's get that construction sector done. Oil has been discovered in Baghdad. Cool. So that all seems relatively good for now. Okay. So that seems okay. Per capita taxation passing will, of course, be very, very good for us. Fertilizer plants are finishing, which is absolutely great. And we're starting to work on some food industries, maybe a little bit. I'm going to build another construction industry in Syria. We're going to be a little cautious with building these, but I absolutely do want to expand our construction speed. Okay, so this war has broken out. And where is that front at? There is no front. They are separated. I don't think we can get to them. Well, this is our subject. I'm surprised there's not a front here. Yeah, there is no front. Do we need to pull them into our war? Yes. We had to pull them into our war. Okay, that makes sense then. So we'll head on over here. And, I mean, honestly, they've got that under control. But we'll send some forces over there just to be on the safe side. I'm sure they're not happy about being pulled into this war, but we had no option. I wouldn't have done it if there was an actual front over here, but that did have to happen. So that seems fine for now. These automotive industries are going to start finishing up soon. So we're going to start producing some cars. That is, of course, fantastic. And I'm noticing that our investment pool is... like, our private construction here, if we look at our private construction, there's quite a lot queued up here. We definitely need to be expanding our construction sectors, and I'm going to significantly expand this. I'm going to double what we've got in Syria. So that's going to take some time, but not very much time. Let's get that done, and we might start running into some financial problems from it eventually, but that's ultimately what we want. So at this point, we should be able to take over this positivist revolt very, very easily. No real problem there. Oh, we just unlocked the camera. Cool. And then they capitulated. So the war is now over. Fantastic. So at this point, I want to check in on the diplomatic status here. Okay, that's going down. Perfect. Investment bank is currently spreading. Cool. And we hit another advance here. Well, actually, standard of living is fine. And this goes up above a 50% success chance. So that sounds good. Keep in mind, we're still waiting on the landowners to get over the change to presidential republic. So we're not really in a rush here. It's absolutely fine. There's some electricity shortages, and I want to deal with those. So, we've got an electricity shortage in Algiers, in Campania, in Hejaz. Let's sort by state here, and let's go to Algiers. Okay, we'll build one here. And then there's one in Hejaz. Done. One in Palestine. Done. One in Lebanon. Done. In Campania. Done. And Lazio. Okay, sounds good. So we'll get all of those going. We've got some electricity shortages in these areas, and we'll just get some constructions going. This is not necessarily going to solve the shortage in those areas, but it will at least alleviate it somewhat. We've also got a transportation shortage in Sardinia. So yeah, we definitely could use additional transportation over there. We'll get going on all of that, and we did finish these construction sectors, so those are going to be populating up. And we should start constructing faster, which is good. I want to keep an eye on how we're doing on our investment pool. I think we still need more construction sectors than what we built here. I'm going to double this again. There we go. So we'll get going on that, and that will absolutely improve our construction a lot. Keep in mind, construction sectors do get access. If we go over to Syria here, construction sectors do get access to economy of scale, and our current construction sectors are very spread out. So getting this economy of scale up is going to be a very big deal for us. So we'll continue to work on that. And we'll get these done relatively quickly. Fire break, huh? Okay, so victories against socialism. Yeah, we're not going socialist here. So we are absolutely going to take that sweet, sweet legitimacy. Sounds good. So our construction sectors are going to be finished shortly. at this point. And this is absolutely going to hurt our deficit, but per capita taxation should likely fix that. And we're now constructing extraordinarily quickly. So that looks good. We're number 3 GDP in the world still. And I want to just hammer our way through these constructions. The real question is, should we move these up? And I think we should, at least the ones that are partway completed here. Something kind of like this or so, and then, yeah, have it be something like that. That looks good for now. We still need to get to fish, but we'll get there soon enough, I hope. And we're just continuing to work through these fertilizer plants, automotive industries, food industries. We've got a lot of things that we want to get built here. I'm looking at our deficit and I'm thinking, oh yeah, this is more like it. This is more like where we want to be for construction. We're still slightly positive on our investment pool. We'll see what happens after we pass per capita taxation. But look at how much shorter this construction queue is now. We've more than doubled our construction speed, and that's great. I'm very happy to see that. I want to be running a deficit at this time. So this looks good. I'm not going to expand our construction again for a little while, probably, but we'll see. We shall see. So we're going to finish up some of these power plants. There's also a transportation shortage in Abruzzo, and I would definitely like to go deal with that. Oh, this just needs to hire in. Never mind. We hit another advance here. Wow. Okay, we've now got a 63% chance of success. That's taking a while. Mostly because we keep rolling advances. I wish we'd just get a success. That would be nice. So we'll continue to get these power plants finished up. Those are going to be relatively quick. And that sounds good. As of right now, we'd love to keep getting that literacy up. It's not as up as we'd like. And that's mostly because we're on private schools. I really want to get off of that, but we've not really had a good opportunity to do it. So for now, this railway in Sardinia finishing up in 11 weeks, and we can see, yeah, we've definitely got some work to do here. That's for sure. 11 months at this point, though. Under a year on this construction queue, and that seems good. We're building much faster, but we've got more work to do on that construction front. We are going to be getting electric arc process relatively soon, in about 6 months, and that will absolutely help our steel production, and then move us down towards arc welding, which we would love to get our hands on. But for now, everything is looking great. We do want to get that military going, though. That's going to be a pretty high priority. I'm going to move this automotive plant up to here, and then this one up to here, just because, I mean, we're still running a shortage of automobiles. So I would like to get these automotive plants up a little bit higher in the priority list. Yeah, something about like that. We're going to definitely be getting that going. Okay, now we're not running a shortage. That's fine. Absolutely wonderful. I'm assuming our gold reserves are dropping at this point, right? I'm pretty sure they're actually dropping. That's good. That's what we want. This investment pool is almost even, and that's also very good. Okay, it just finished up one of its constructions, and it's not so even anymore. But this is probably fake, and that's okay. The play for power here, huh? Well, not all is fair in love anymore. Okay, so field hospitals are now now an option. Wow, a stall here. Well, that's unfortunate. That's extremely unfortunate. Very bad luck on that roll. Oh well. Not the end of the world. So at this point, our automotive industries are ticking along. Our food industries are looking good. Our shortage now is explosives, glass, and fish. Now, we do have these fishing wharves here. The question is, how big are our deficits on glass? I mean, 14%, 15%, 15%. It's not that big of a deal. We don't really need to focus too hard on those price issues. We're just getting our initial rollout of automotive industries done here, and that looks good. Now, our private constructions, they are burning through their queue faster than they're queuing up. So that means that we're probably going to... We've probably overbuilt our construction at this time. There's no probably. We've overbuilt our construction at this time. I'm not going to remove construction, but we're going to have to pause our construction at certain times. That's fine. That's absolutely a-okay. We're building so fast at this point that I'm not sure it matters all that much. We're losing our power rank. We're losing our great power ranking, apparently. Not anymore. Okay. Not sure what that was. So at this point, we are finishing up these automotive industries. We're getting started on these fishing wharves, and we're going to be digging into these universities quite soon. The question is, do we actually need any of these universities? The answer is no, we do not. I'm going to move all of the universities that we have queued up here, including the ones that have progress, down. I was thinking about not moving the ones that have progress, but then I'm like, what's the point? What is the point? So we're just going to do this, and we'll get our military expanded and get our economy expanded a little bit here. That'll all be fine. So per capita taxation is really close to finishing another roll again here in about 20 days. It is about time to put a cut in here. I'm going to wait until after we get this roll because I really want this to go through. Hopefully, fingers crossed, we've got a 54% chance and a 31% chance of a good roll. What's the odds that we roll a stall again? Well, it's a 13% chance. So hopefully that doesn't happen. 5 days. 2, 1. There we go. Per capita taxation is now passed. Fantastic. So that is great, and now we can decide on what law change we want next. And the answer is probably... There's not a lot of options right now. I would love to go for, like, universal suffrage. The landowners are going to be real upset. And the absolutist movement will become militant at that point. We're still suppressing this. But I think that means that we need to continue to give them a little bit of space. What happens if instead we go for welfare? We could go for, like, old age pensions. No one... Well, the landowners hate this a little bit. Actually, they hate it quite a lot. We may not want to do that yet. There's workers' rights. We could go for regulatory bodies. The landowners really hate that. But if we went for workers' protections... I mean, that dangerous working conditions and minimum wage is very beneficial for us. That'll bring up our standard of living and our population very rapidly. Yeah, the landowners are going to hate it. We're going for it anyway. It is time to put a cut in here, so I'm going to go ahead and do that. And next episode, we're going to continue to work on our construction. We're going to get our military a little stronger, and then we might start thinking about attacking some of these weaker nations around us. I think that would be a good thing to start doing. You can leave your offerings to the engagement gods in the form of likes, comments, subscribes, and bell ringings, and a very special thank you to all of the channel members for making this video possible, including ALS Gamer, Dark Horse, Ethan Feldman, Upper Cumberland Gamers, Nick Smarty, Dimitri H, Punching the Microphone, The Lounge STL, Rornaz, and all the rest. And of course, you. Thank you for watching. If you'd like to support the channel, you can click the join button down below the video, and as always, I will see you all next time.